Lesson 1.7, and we are going to be learning about multiplying decimals. This is page 42, number 3 through 6. I have a picture of it for you on the Google Classroom. You can pause your video here, or you can look at your book and make sure you just write those answers in your notes. Okay, we're going to go over them now. So, number 3, you were multiplying how many people were on the train. You should have had 7,722 people. Make sure you put your placeholder in. That would be an important step. Make sure you multiplied correctly. And you can look at mine and kind of figure out what you did correct and what you might need to work on. Okay, here we have a division problem about cars. So if you have 2,800 cars, there's 25 cars per row. How many spaces are available per row? Wait a minute, that's not what it said. It said if it has 25 spaces, this is the 25 spaces, how many rows are there? So I actually labeled that incorrectly. There should be 112 rows. And there you're just doing some division. Check your division and make sure it looks like mine. Okay, the next question, they give you this in the problem and they ask what property is being used. Remember, when you take a number and multiply it times the tens digit and then multiply it times the ones digit, that is distributing the 6 across those digits, and that's what's happening here. So that's called the distributive property. And if you don't have that one, that's okay. It's probably been a while since you heard it. Go ahead and just write that down. Then we needed to find the greatest, actually it's not the greatest common factor, it's the least common multiple. Because when you have cups that come in sets of 12 and lids that come in sets of 15, you want to know how many sets of 12 do I need to buy and how many sets of 15 do I need to buy so I have the same number. So what we're looking for is that same number. What is the number that if I buy them in groups of 12s and 15, how many will I need to buy altogether? So let's talk about that because I haven't finished this problem completely. So I did the part that we went over last week, finding my prime factors. And remember, when we do the least common multiple, multiples are getting bigger, so we multiply all the numbers in the inside, and I have 60. So that doesn't answer the question. It's asking me how many cups and lids will I have to buy? So 12 goes into 60 5 times, right? 12 times 60, or times 5 is 60. Let's check. Yes, it is. So I will need 5 sets of cups, and 15 goes into 60 4 times, so I need 4 sets of lids. So you have to do that extra division step to find out how many sets. So your answer will be 5 cups, 4 lids. Okay, moving on to today's lesson. Some of that was a little difficult, I know, but it's good that you're practicing and trying, and it's good just to watch and figure out what was going on. How do I do these problems? So here is our rule for today. We're working on multiplying with decimals. We're going to use estimation to see where to place the decimal. And then we're going to count also when you're multiplying decimals, what we do is we count the digits behind the decimal to see how many places to move the decimal from the right to the left in your answer. So just watch this one. I'll do an I do right now. Okay, so my estimate would be, this is closer to 12 than 13, so I'll do 12. And this is closer to 29, which is close to 30. And 29 is close to 30. I'm going to use 30 as my estimate because it makes my multiplying really fast. If I have a place holding 0 here, I can just put it down, move over to the tens digit, the 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. So my estimate is going to be about 360. All right, let's actually do this problem. So remember, when you multiply with decimals, first you just ignore the decimals and you treat this like a regular multiplication problem. Like I will have 3 digits down here on the bottom, so I will need 3 rows of numbers. And this is sometimes confusing. I had some kids last year that wanted to do the old method where you are taking this and making it into 1,000. That's too much work. You're going to have to learn to do multiplication the old-fashioned way. So where you take the one spot, and this digit, if we ignore the decimals, would be the ones, and then you multiply times the numbers on top. So let's do that together. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry my 1, put down the 2. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Put down my ones digit, carry my tens digit. 6 times 2, because look, I'm going over here. 6 times 2 is 12, 13, 14. Put down my ones digit, carry my tens digit. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. I'm going to put that down. So I'm finished with the 6, which means I need to move over to the 8. And when I do that, I need a place holding 0. Then I'm going to start with an 8 and go up to the ones digit first. So 8 times 2 is 16. I'm going to reuse that 1, 16. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33. So 33, I put down my ones digit. My tens digit goes to the next row over. We just did the 8 times 4, that was 32, 33, and we put that 3 of the tens place over the 2. So 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19. And then 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. And then we have finished all of the top digits, multiplying them times the 8. So now I'm moving over to this 2. We need 2 place holding zeros to move over that far. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Look at all those digits, nice and lined up, and look how neat. And you can actually move your paper so it goes sideways if you want to make sure that your digits get lined up nice and neat. Then we are going to add those digits together. I need to check my math. I always like to check it. So 2, this would be 11, carry my 1. That makes that into a 4. 4 times 3 is 12, carry my 1. Add the 1 to the 9, that's 10. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Put my 5 down, 2 up. 9 plus 2 is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks good. Okay, but I'm not done because I have a decimals. I have 1, 2, 3 digits behind a decimal there. So I need to start over here on the right, and I need to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 spots. It's going to go right here. So I want 1 spot, 2 spots, 3 spots, decimal. So my answer is 355 and 212 thousandths. Okay. That was my I do. Now we're going to do this one together. So pause and write this down. And I want you to go ahead and estimate it. 2 times 40 is 80, right? This is close to 2. This is close to 40. 2 times 40 is 80. That will be our estimate. Now we're going to go ahead and work this problem out. And there's 3 digits on the bottom, so we need 3 rows of numbers. So we'll start with the 1 digit. 1 times 7 is 7. Put that under the 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. And we're all done with that 1. I'm going to put my place holding 0 in and move to the 0. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. All done with that. Now we move over to the 4. So I have 1, 2 spots. I need 1, 2 placeholders. 4 times 7 is 28. 2 goes up, 8 goes down. 4 times 3 is 12. 13, 14. We add those 2. 8 times 2, or 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And I don't have anything else to multiply, so I go ahead and add my rows together. Okay. You can pause if you need a minute to add that. And then we are going to count digits behind decimals. So I have 1, 2, 3 digits behind a decimal, which means I need to move 1, 2, 3 spots in my answer. All right, I think I'm running short on time. So I'm going to change this one to an I do. I just want you to watch it, okay? So I can go very quickly on it. First, we're going to estimate. This is close to 4, and this is close to 2. Remember, we do what's in parentheses first. So we get 8 minus a number. This number is close to 1 because 7 is bigger than 5. 5 or more, you go round up to the next number. So 8 minus 1 is 7. My estimate is going to be 7. Now we're going to go ahead and actually do this problem. So I'm going to write down the digits that I see here. Multiply times 2.1. 2 times 1 is 2. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. Put in my placeholder. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. Okay, and then I have to look 1, 2, 3 digits. 1, 2, 3 spots in my decimal. Then I take my answer and I write it underneath that parentheses. Write everything else down that we haven't done yet. Now we have a subtraction problem, and when we subtract decimals, we line them up. So let's line up our decimals and subtract. Okay, I can't subtract 9 from 2. I need to regroup. I can't get a group from here, so I'm going to have to move over one more time. Change that to a 10. Then take the 1 away so that I have a group of 10 to move over to my 12s. So if you look at this, 60 just turned into 59. You could look at it that way too. All right, 12 minus 9 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. Then here I need to regroup. 15 minus 7 is 8. And then we bring down our 6. So our answer to this problem is 6 and 853 thousandths. All right, now let's have you try one. It's not pausing for me. So go ahead and pause this and do this problem. And then we'll check it together. All right, so our estimate is close to 6. And this is close to 0, and this is close to 2. So I'm going to make this close to 0.5, which would be half of 2. So I'm going to say it's going to be kind of close to 1. So 6 minus 1 is 5. That might have been a little bit tricky for you guys, but just because you might not know a lot about 25 hundredths, but that's like having 25 cents. Right? So we have 1.5 of those. It's going to be like 0.7 or 0.75 or something. So 1 would, yeah, so more like 0.35. It's going to be small. It's a small number. So we don't take away that much. So it'll be close to 5. All right, let's actually go ahead and do what's inside the parentheses first. I'm going to show my work here. 0.25 times 1.5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Put my placeholder down. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. Add those together. And then we have 1, 2, 3 digits behind a decimal. Okay, so I was close to 35. So 0.375 is going to be the answer to the part that's in parentheses, but we're not done. We still have to take this and subtract it from 5.8. When you subtract, you need to line up your decimals. So make sure that the 3 in the tenths place goes right under the 8. Like this, and then we're going to subtract. We're going to add in some placeholders. Turn the 80 to a 79. And that is our answer. Okay. we would put that right underneath our answer. And I think I've run out of time today, so there is our answer.